Last week in South Africa, things got interesting. Our water problems are getting louder. The United States is getting impatient. Politicians are handing out bread, while voters are starting to ask harder questions. And somewhere in the middle of this, a clothing store quietly decided it might become a bank. Yes, seriously, so with something that affects every single South African, and that's water. Now, across parts of the country, water supply problems are once again making headlines, and municipal infrastructure is struggling. Aging pipes keeps bursting, and treatment plants are under serious pressure. And while isn't exactly a brand new story, the worrying part is that the warnings are getting louder because when water experts are saying systems is under strain, that's not just technical problems, that's daily life problems. And it means dry taps, it means businesses slowing down, and it means that ordinary families wondering whether the basics of running a modern city are still under control. Now, at the same time that infrastructure concerns are growing, our political theatre is doing what it does best, creating headlines. Now, this week, Julius Malema took aim at the government again, and the issue was something surprisingly simple: bread handouts. Malema criticized the ANC's approach of distributing food parcels and bread in the communities and arguing that this is not a real solution to our poverty. So, according to him, the people need is proper access to healthcare and working services and clinics that operates 24 hours a day. And honestly, whether you agree with him or not, the argument stays or it remains a big question. Are we solving problems or are we just managing them? Because handing out bread might help today, but fixing the system that keeps people poor in the first place, it's a much bigger challenge. Now, it brings us to another story that suddenly added some international drama to this week. South Africa's government recently summoned the United States ambassador after comments that were described as undiplomatic. The remarks sparked tension between Pretoria and Washington, and the ambassador was called in to explain, and eventually he just apologized. But the situation didn't just end there. There were growing signals that the US becoming increasingly frustrated with South Africa's political positioning on the global stage. Diplomatically speaking, when words like running out of patience starts appearing in the conversation, that's usually a sign that relationships are getting complicated. And for a country that depends heavily on trade and investment and international partnerships, diplomatic strain isn't just a political gossip. It can eventually affect real economic decisions. Meanwhile, while politicians debate and diplomats exchange stern conversations behind closed doors, South African voters themselves are changing. Analysts are beginning to notice something interesting. Voters are becoming more discerning. In simple terms, people are paying closer attention. The days when loyalty alone determined the election outcomes may be fading. More voters are questioning policies, leadership decisions, and whether promises actually translates into real change. SIFT could reshape the country's political landscape over the next few elections. Because when voters start asking tougher questions, political parties suddenly have to work a lot harder for support. Now, speaking of political personalities, let's talk about Helen Zille. Zille recently made a typically blunt comment when discussing Johannesburg. Her message was simple: you don't have to like her, you just have to love Joburg. Which, if you know Zille, is very on brand. Her point was that the focus should be on fixing the city rather than worrying about personalities. But as always in South African politics, personalities tend to dominate the conversation anyway. And if there's one thing our politics never lacks, it's strong personalities. Now let's shift away from politics for a moment because this next story caught a lot of people by surprise. South Africa's banking landscape might soon get a new competitor, and the company stepping into the ring is not you might expect. You probably would know Capitec is already in the space. Well, now another brand is looking at the same market, and that is Pep Stores. Yes, the clothing retailer. Now, reports suggest that Pep is expanding deeper into financial services and could eventually move toward full banking options through this massive national store network that they already have. And when you realize that Pep already has thousands of local locations where people could go to, suddenly the idea just doesn't sound so strange anymore. Imagine being able to open up a bank account where you buy your socks. It sounds unusual, but at the same time, it might actually make banking far more accessible to millions of people, which is how Capitec disrupted the market in this place. So, if this move happens, South Africa's banking competition could get very interesting. And because when you look at all the stories together, they tell a very revealing story about where the country is right now. Infrastructure challenges that affect daily life, political debates about how to actually solve this poverty, international relationships becoming more complicated, voters becoming more critical, and businesses stepping into spaces where government systems sometimes struggles. So, in other words, South Africa is in one of those moments where a lot of different forces are moving at the same time. Some worrying, some promising, and some just plain unexpected. But one thing is clear, the next few years are going to be very interesting. And as always, ordinary South Africans will be the ones watching closely and increasingly asking questions that politicians everywhere fear to answer the most. Is anything actually getting better? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe and join the conversation below, because in South Africa, the news doesn't just happen, it unfolds.